Hey guys, so welcome to a new Coffee Keyboard series where we'll be diving into a new software called Power Automate. Power Automate is a Microsoft provided automation tool which is a desktop software that allows you to perform obviously desktop automation tasks, right? So I have my Power Automate open here and we'll first go through a quick guide through to the Power Automate software and then we'll dive into creating a few flows. I have a list of flows that I want to share with you guys so that we understand the concept of Power Automate as well as learn the software itself by developing those flows. Right, so I'll just zoom into the screen. So the Power Automate screen is quite simple. We have the option to create a new flow on the top left and an account to sign in and sign out is on top right. Other than that, the flows that you have already created, you could search for them on the top right. Right. Other than that, there is again the new flow option over here again. There are a few templates that are already built for you guys, which is Excel automation, web automation, desktop automation, date time handling. We'll be building examples on these as well. And there are tutorials provided by Microsoft themselves, right? Other than that, there's more content and news and useful links and stuff. So let's just dive right into our first flow, right? I'll hit the new flow button and we'll call it YT1. Let's just create the flow. So for this flow, what I'm thinking is I want to guide you through the software, right? So let's just create the most simplest flow where we take input from a user, store it into a variable, and then we are able to print it, right? And then we can, in this video itself, let's just add condition statements to this as well. So we'll get to that once we are done with our task one for this. Like set up the task and then we'll add more data to this, right? So this is our task one for the video. So I'll open my flow right here, which is already open, YT1 Power Automate. Right. So again, this is a new screen. On the left hand side, you can see all the possible drag and drop features that Power Automate allows you to access, right? Each of them can be combined over here in the flow section to create a flow. And then on the right, we can see the input and output variables and along with the flow variables. So as we build a software here, a flow here, this field starts populating itself. Right, so the first thing we wanted to do was take input. So it's as simple as searching for input and a message box appears, display input dialog, right? And it would automatically ask us for title. Let's just call it input data and we'll ask for the user's name now. So it could be as simple as enter your name, right? We could set a default value. I do not want to set a default value for now. And the variables produced by this plugin would be user input and if the button was pressed or not. Let's just have them both ticked for now because we don't really need the button press variable and not. Let's just keep it ticked for now, or you could untick for sure if you want. So we'll use the user input variable and let's just rename it to user name for now. So you could edit the variable name from here itself. So this is technically storing your variable and storing your input inside a variable in one step, right? So we hit save and we have our dialog input. Let's just try this one action. And if we hit run, enter your name, it automatically creates the UI and everything along with the OK and cancel button. Right, so I'll just write my name Hirak and hit OK. Obviously it would do nothing because no other flow was set to continue ahead. but as I said, it would populate these fields over here. So our flow currently has two variables, button pressed OK and username. Now this is us saying that let's just keep it ticked for now. See, it is not needed to create more variables than what we are actually going to use. So here we can untick this for now because we're not going to use those variables like button press, and we have our username as Hirak over here. The second thing we wanted to do was display the variable back, right? So the display options are of quite a few types, but we'll be using just the display message box, wherein we'll call the message title welcome screen. Let's say the message to display is hello, comma, and my name. So how do I get that variable over here now? It is going to this button icon over here and selecting a variable. So all the variables that are available in your flow show up over here. Right now we have only one, and we'll just click on username for now and select. Message box icon is nothing, it is just information, so let's just go with information. Value is okay, and yeah, just hit save, and then we can run our flow. So right now if I enter Hirak and hit on enter, you could see a welcome screen which says hello Hirak, and that is our task 1 done for the video. Let's just add. So this was quite simple. Let's increase the complexity of this by adding conditional statements. Now what I want to do is that I want to take input of average marks, or just let's call it marks. I want to input marks of user, and then based on that I want to give a grade to the user. So a grade would be anywhere over 85. A B grade would be given if it were, B is if grade is over 75, and C grade is given if the grade is over 65, and everything below that is given a D grade, let's say. D is less than 50, so the grade is less than 50, and A is when our variable grade is above 85. So right now when I say above 85, obviously include 85. So above or equal to 85, again 70 greater or equal to 75, greater or equal to 65, and this is just less than, let's just give it less than 65, right? So this is our task 2. Let's get rid of task 1. So let's build our task 2 in the same flow. So right now instead of taking a name, I'll ask for enter your marks, right? Let's just hit save. Now in the display, I want to display you grade screen. You got A and the grade. So right now we forgot to change the variable. Let's just quickly go back. Okay, we do not have the variable for now, the grade allocated, but let's just leave this right now as it is and then come back to it. Right now we want to enter the switch cases because we're dealing with multiple values, right? So let's do a switch. Values to check is not the button press, it is username. Let's just rename username to, because it is no longer name, so let's call it user marks, right? We'll call it user marks, and now we get an error saying username does not exist. This is because over here we were using username as a variable in switch. Let's just change that to user marks. This is one way of doing it, manually typing it, or I could erase all of this entirely and go over here and select user marks as a variable, right? Now one thing to remember is that user marks when entered is of data type string, which we can't, we for now we can use over here, but we need to compare it to a numerical value. So what we would need is convert string to integer first. That would be, let's just search for convert. Over here, if you see, convert text to number is an option. You place it over here. The text we want to convert to number as user marks, and save it as not text as number, marks, right? So we have a variable called marks, which is what we want to actually use in our switch statement. So with our switch in position, we need to add cases to this. So right now I search for case, I'll drag a case. So our first case is if the marks is greater than or equal to 85, right? Let's just put 85 over here, and then we want it to do something, right? We want it to set a variable to value a. Set variable. If it is this case, we'll call this variable grade, right? And we want it to give the value of a. Similarly, we can keep going and build a new case again. This time, if the value is greater than or equal to 75, then we want it to give the grade B. Again, we search for set variable. Set variable would, this time we just choose the variable that we previously created, grade, and give it the value of B. And then we can, what we could do is we could copy and paste the thing again, instead of going again creating new flows, adding new elements to the flow. We could just copy and paste. So next we have, if greater than or equal to 65, we want to set variable C, and then the last case that we want is if it is less than 65, we want to set the variable to D. Set grade to D. With all of that done, what I can do at the end is, in the display message, you got, instead of having a user name over here, you got a grade, and hit save. So now when I run this flow, it will ask me for marks. That would be, let's say we got a 76, right? And I hit enter. It would go through this, and you got a B, right? So this is our task 2. That is our first video ready, where we have, let's just try with more cases. Let's say we got 84. You got a B grade. Now we have to cross 85, or at 85 we would get an A grade. Let's just say I got 85. There you see, you got A grade. So this is our task 1 completed. I hope you like this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you till then.